HELIUM HNT, the People's Network, our golden child here on this channel, outperforming its peers amidst turmoil and uncertainty in crypto markets. We have scoured the internet for the driver in this recent upward momentum and have found it. Billionaire investor and CEO of Pershing Square Capital Management, Bill Ackman, began speaking about Helium and the People's Network in a recent webinar interview. This unsolicited and generous endorsement of Helium may have been a shock to some of its viewers, but it is a true testament to the potential and reach of the Helium network. He makes several great points and shares some very positive thoughts on the network. If this unsolicited endorsement is what is happening in these interviews, we can only imagine what is taking place between fund managers and institutional investors worldwide. Hello, everybody. Thank you for being here. Big news for you today. Some of the biggest news the Helium community has seen in months. Bill Ackman, CEO and portfolio manager of Pershing Square Capital, was recently discussing Helium in an interview. The interview was discussing crypto investing, crypto markets, and Bitcoin, and he decided to discuss Helium mid-interview after a question that was completely unrelated to Helium. He goes on to discuss Helium and the Helium network completely unsolicited. If we're looking at this chart here, we can see that the low point here is May 23rd. Now, the air date of this interview also happens to be May 23rd. I believe that these three bars here, these three large green 4-hour candles, were the three green candles after this interview aired. I believe that this is the cause of the recent outperformance that was mentioned in our previous video. It is apparent that if Bill Ackman, the CEO and portfolio manager of Pershing Square Capital, is discussing Helium and using Helium as an example in an interview as a cryptocurrency and a crypto business model that in fact works, I think that is a testament to what Helium is doing and the Helium community in general. I think that that takes it a step further from speculation, and I think it justifies its recent movement into now the low 60s in terms of market cap rank. Our previous video from earlier today, we saw Helium at 69. We are currently at an all-time high, I believe, of 63. Previous price all-time highs saw Helium around the 80 rank range. Those previous highs were over here at $21. Even at $21, this was when crypto markets were soaring. We were still only around the mid 70s in terms of crypto market cap. We are currently now, as you just saw here, we are currently now at 63. We are outperforming significantly. Now let's dig into what in fact Bill said about the Helium network and what we can take from it. So this is the interview or the webinar broadcast of this interview. We can see here, May 3rd, 2021, the same time that we had this sharp turnaround here from the $8.30 range on the Helium chart. Now, the timestamp here, if you guys want to check, I will put a link below to this interview if you want to watch, but I would skip to 36 minutes and about 37 seconds if you want to hear Bill talk about the Helium network. He moves on to talking about the Helium network after discussing Bitcoin and his uncertainty about Bitcoin. However, he speaks highly about Helium and explains the use case for Helium in this interview. As Bill is not a fan of Bitcoin, he did give Helium as the specific example of other interesting cryptocurrencies. Ackman said Helium is, and I quote, motivating people to build out a global wireless network. In discussing his uncertainty around Bitcoin, he mentions other cryptocurrencies that he sees that are very promising and that can develop very promising business models using and leveraging cryptocurrencies and the blockchain. He begins to speak about Helium, a company he, and I quote, says he recently heard about. Bill continues to discuss the Helium network, and even specifically mentions Helium HOTSPOTS. He continues to discuss the return on investment and how the money can be returned to the investor, if you will, and I am using air quotes, the investor, in just a matter of weeks. This is due to the mining and the increase in price of the HNT token or coin. He then continues to speak about the incentives and the motivation behind encouraging people and people all around the world to build this decentralized wireless network that is designed, or was originally designed, for the Internet of Things. It's also very interesting that on May 23rd, when he recorded this, there were 35,000 hotspots. Today, we are approaching 45,000 hotspots. The level of knowledge that Bill has throughout this interview is extremely interesting. He even mentions the over 200,000 miners on back order with the several approved suppliers. Bill continues to discuss the use cases for this network and talks about how companies can use the network to power the Internet of Things and how they could burn tokens to transfer data across the network. I think it's safe to say that this is some of the most powerful and promising news that the Helium community has seen in months. It is, I think, the language that Bill used in his interview, specifically saying a company he recently learned about. Of course, Bill Ackman is moving in circles of billionaires and other hedge fund managers, and for Bill to be learning about Helium recently is very good news. There is a lot that we could take from that. I'm going to take that somebody was discussing Helium with him in a positive light, and that perhaps Pershing Square or even himself may step in and look to invest or grow the network as they see fit, or as they see the potential for the network. And as we can see here in the price chart, the price continues to rise. I do think that this has a lot to do with the words and the power behind Bill Ackman's words in this recent interview. Now, of course, it is possible that Bill Ackman learned from this from fellow CEO and venture capitalist Mark Bainoff, the CEO of Salesforce, which on Helium's website we can see here, Helium is used by Salesforce. And if we scroll down a little bit, we can see that their investors, one of which is Mark Bainoff Ventures. Now, this is pure speculation, but it is possible that all of these people, these investors that move in similar circles, these large companies that are using the network, are all talking, and maybe one of them is in Bill Ackman's ear. And that might have been what has been the learning, this learning that Bill Ackman is talking about in this recent interview. What are your thoughts? Do you guys think that there is someone here that has a relationship with Bill? Do you think he stumbled upon it across on the internet somewhere? How do you think Bill learned about it? What do you think he will do? And what do you think the future for Helium and HNT looks like? Please let me know. This is extremely interesting news, very promising stuff. I'm going to put some links below to all the stuff I touched on in this video. There will also be a link to Simple Swap, which is the crypto swap website here that I use to purchase Helium directly without using Binance. You could also use Visa and MasterCard and swap directly between any of the cryptocurrencies you might hold in your different wallets. I will also put a link to the Bobcat miner. This is the only miner currently that is available for sale. The other the mining companies have closed their orders due to the backlog. However, you can purchase the Bobcat miner today. So I'll put these links below. Please, guys, let me know your thoughts. Thank you for being here. Subscribe and stay tuned for more news and updates. Until next time, I'll see you next video.